Hello everyone, my name is Brennan and welcome to
Brennan's Crafty Corner.
For the first of the tips, tricks, and techniques, I'm going to be talking about embossing folders, specifically embossing with vellum. If you've ever embossed with vellum before, you know that you don't always get the best result. Sometimes you get one that comes out like this, has some cracking, has almost embossed too much so it's starting to turn white. You literally have tears on the edges sometimes, and it can even, there was a part where it went through right here. It went through that and cut that right there. So, because vellum is super delicate, sometimes the embossing folders can be too much for it. However, when you run your vellum through your embossing folder with a piece of cardstock with it, for some reason, that's probably chemical or something, physics, whatever, the vellum doesn't get as deeply embossed, so it prevents cracking. So you can still easily tell there's an embossed texture there, but it's not as, for whatever reason, it doesn't get the cracking, it doesn't get the holes. So when you run your vellum through an embossing folder and through a die cutting machine, make sure you put it on top of a piece of cardstock. And then you also have a nice cardstock background to use. You could use this in your card making as well. So it's basically a twofer. It's 2-for-1 technique or trick because you're getting your paper background and your vellum background. Now we're moving on to the MISTI. So we have our MISTI here. Great stamping tool. Normally put your stamp, but we're gonna flip it. Now flip it. Now we're gonna put our cardstock down and we're gonna put a stencil down. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the MISTI magnet, and I'm gonna realign that because I hit it. And there we go. And then I have a bunch of very old magnets that are probably older than I am. So yeah, but we're just gonna use that to help hold it in place. You can use absolutely whatever magnets you have. And now I'm gonna just blend like a normal person. And what the magnets in the MISTI are gonna do, it's gonna help prevent the stencil from moving. And it's almost like your own make art station mat, and it's just super cool. So now we can remove all these magnets, and you'll see our stenciling came out perfect. What I've also heard is that since the MISTI back is squishy, that can help give you better stenciling stuff. And I know some people stencil on mouse pads. I don't know how true that is, but if you think that, that's another thing for you. It will give you better stencil results. While we still have the MISTI out, we're gonna flip it. We're gonna use the inside portion. And this does work better with a larger MISTI, but you can also do it on the mini MISTI. So I have a card base here that is scored, doesn't have to be scored. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put it in the corner, and you're just gonna fold it and crease it. In that way, this will ensure that all of your edges are perfectly aligned. And as you can see here, perfect card base. And if your cardstock is thinner, and mine is thinner, you don't have to score it. I just score it just to prevent any cracking, but you don't have to, and this is the perfect way to align your card bases when you're folding them. Also, just want to quickly add, you could totally use like the raised edge of a paper trimmer right here. So if you want it to align it here, and then you can fold it. So that's another way you could do it. I just use the MISTI because it has 2 walls you can do, so you can make sure it's all aligned in that corner really well, or that corner. One thing that seems to happen to me way too often is when I'm trying to be as careful as possible when I'm coloring, and then bam, I go outside the line like that. Your fix to that is a white gel pen. So all you're gonna need to do is you're gonna take your pen and just go over it. And sometimes you might need to do a couple layers depending if the color is lighter or darker. But as you can see, that's already starting to be hidden because compare that color to that color. So once this dries, you could just go over it one more time, and then you won't be able to really see it at all. So that's a way to fix your Copic coloring mistakes, or any alcohol marker for that matter. In this last technique, I'm going to show you how to create your own colored cardstock. Let's say I need to make some die cuts in a couple different colors of orange, but I don't have enough paper. I don't have the shades of orange I want or need, but I have an ink pads. Just make your own ink pad colors, or paper cardstock colors, excuse me. So we have our creamsicle color cardstock now. We have our Bellini colored cardstock, and then we'll go with some orange twist. We have our orange twist colored cardstock. So let's say I was doing a flower that had 3 different layers, our lightest layer, middle layer, darker layer, and there's your cardstock. That's the final tip, trick, and technique I'm going to share today. But I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video. These are some things I really like to do while crafting, or something I thought of for this video that I will start doing when I'm crafting. Have an amazing rest of your day, and bye everyone! Happy crafting!